Okay, I am live and I am doing a quick little test for audio. I was going to do this for camera and flask, but it did not seem like I had enough time to do this. So I'm doing it now. Uh, I'm not going to keep this episode. So it's really just to see if anybody shows up and can give me a little bit of feedback on the audio solution that I am using right now, which I can tell you about, which is also in the title and misspelled, of course. It's a Wireless Go and HS2 test. So we've got a couple of people here watching, and what I'm trying to do is get a sense of how clear or not clear this microphone is. I'm using the Wireless Go system from Rode, which is, if you're not familiar with it, this tiny little transmitter and receiver. Come on, I'm just not in the right place. There we go. So that's the transmitter. The receiver's over there on the XT4. And then instead of having a lavalier plugged into it, what I have is this, which is the second version of their headset microphone, which is the HS2. So, Andres, how are you? Oliver. And I'm just trying to get a sense from everybody who's here how this actually sounds. Um, Come on, Caleb. I'm just trying to figure this thing out, and I was going to actually set this up for Cameron Flask. The whole point of me using this is um, so that I can move around, because when I'm doing stuff that's educational, I can't really, obviously we have a little autofocus issue, but that's just because I stepped out of the zone. But it's not always going to be practical for me to use this right here, which is, something like the Rode VideoMic NTG, and I need the ability to be able to move around. And while I like a lav, I kind of feel like it's more likely to pick up sounds, and I like the fact that the proximity of this mic is closer to me. So I've used the original HS, I guess it was the HS1, but I just got this in from Rode. They make it in a black, which is what I have right now, and then they also make it in a pink color, which is generally good for people who are Caucasian in terms of skin tone, but not necessarily for people who have darker skin tone. And then, of course, I have a dark beard, so this one seems to work well. So, yeah, I'm not addicted to live streaming. I'm just trying to figure this all out as fast as I can get all of this done, because, hopefully work's going to show up one of these days. And when it does, I'm not going to have this time to figure this out. And I also want to be able to help other people figure it out, which I'm actually doing already. So, maybe this is part of the business as we go. Yeah, this is about as far as this is about as close as I'm going to get to going to the gym. I've tried before. It's Don't even get me started. Doesn't sound bad at all. I love that. I love the those things. It's okay. It's fine. Makes you sound like Barry White. I'm not making any babies anymore. I got 3 kids. Okay, so I don't know what you're talking about, but there you go. So it sounds like this is a viable option. If I'm moving around, are you feeling, besides the autofocus, are you hearing a lot of stuff? This mic, Clay, is the Rode HS2. So this is their headset mic, and I took the threading off of it because you can very easily, and I just have it plugged in here to the Rode Wireless Go. So HS2 into Wireless Go. I do have a lavalier for this, but I think that when I'm teaching and I'm doing things and I'm picking stuff up, it's better for me to have a headset mic. And I think maybe this is a little bit warmer than the lavalier. In fact, just for giggles here, if I can find it, here it is. You're going to hear, actually, I'm going to turn off the sound for a minute, and I'll clip this on while we're just talking so you're not hearing all of that happening. So I'm going to put this around the sternum, and that's about where the lav would be. So no scrubbing from the beard because of how I have it. You can adjust these pretty easily. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to mute on the A10 Mini. I'm going to unplug the HS2 from here, and I'm going to plug in the lavalier, and we're going to basically audition this together. So let me go ahead and mute for a second. Here we go. And now I'm unmuted, and we should be coming through on the lavalier that comes with and can also be bought separately for the Wireless Go, meaning that the Wireless Go can be bought as just the transmitter and receiver. It does have a built-in microphone in here. I would never use it. I'm not saying it's not usable. And then you can buy it as a kit with the lavalier that I'm using right now. Don't think that I'm using this mic. I am not. This is not part of the equation now. And I'm using the lavalier. And the idea is to get a sense from you. It's hot. Okay, so that's because the lav is hotter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go make a change on the receiver. Wait, right there. The AF's going to go wonky. But you guys can hear me, so I can just kind of talk it out. So I'm going to change the dB setting on here. And that should be better now. Let's go ahead and see if it's any better. Let me know if it's still hot. If it still feels like, well, sounds like it's clipping, let me know. So there's 3 settings on the Wireless Go receiver, where you basically can go in and you can set, without going to the camera, you can basically set a certain level in terms of how hot it's coming out of there and into wherever you're plugging it in. Now, definitely not hot, maybe too low, not clipping. So now the important thing is, of course, I can tweak the way this sounds in terms of levels. I don't have a mixer, but the question is, which one sounds better? So Oliver thinks that the lav sounds a little bit better, more rich in the bass, and I'd be interested to see what other people think. And then I'm going to go back to the headset. I'm probably going to have to use a headset anyway, because again, just having something here and you're hearing me do stuff, if I'm picking up a stand or I'm setting a light or I'm working with a camera, I'm much more likely to be touching this area. 360 Grad says that the headset mic is preferable. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and mute again. I'm going to go over there, plug in, make a change so that I've got the same levels I had before for the headset mic, and then you can hear that one more time, and then we'll end this thing and it'll go off into La La Land. So here we go. I'm going to mute. Just give me a second. Okay, I should be back now, and you should be, come on AF, you should be now hearing the headset mic. You're definitely hearing it because I have the lavalier here and it's unplugged. And this is back to the HS2. So again, just interested to see what people think in terms of the difference between the two. My guess is they're not completely worlds apart, but there will be some differences between them. And I'm also interested just in terms of whether or not you're hearing more ambience. Unfortunately, I have kids going in the background that weren't before, so you might pick up a little bit of that. But in terms of the room tone, just sort of the ambience, did you hear more of that with one mic over the other? The HS2 sounds cleaner. Okay, well, still some more tests that I can do, but I'm not surprised. The lavalier mic that you're getting for the Wireless Go is about $80 to $100 US, and this thing here is, let me just figure it out. I know it's $229 or $299 or something, so you're talking about a much more expensive microphone. And what's inside of it, I don't know for sure, but let's just go ahead and do a very quick, go ahead, Rode HS2, yeah, $299. So you are talking about considerably more money for that. Please hold the line. I'm going to put you through. Please hold the line. I'm going to put you through. You're ridiculous, 360 grad. Do they sell it with a dead cat? Are you talking about the HS2? Yes, they do. It's gigantic. I think it has a dead cat. Yeah, here it is. Look at the size of that mother. It's like a growth coming off of you. And then it has just, the standard little windscreen and other stuff. I can put that on there, but then you're going to hear lots of noise. Hold on. There you go. Not necessarily something I would use in a space like this, but if you were outside and you were doing exercise videos and things like that, there's a little dead kitten, we'll say. Maybe it's not a dead cat. It's definitely a dead kitten. And I think we're good. I don't know. You can, of course, use this with other wireless systems too. And it's a beautiful thing. In what scenario would you use a face mic with a huge dead cat? I think I just mentioned that, Clay, but it would be outside. So you're out on a beach and you're shooting an exercise video with somebody, something that is instructional primarily, and you have talent that's moving around a lot and you don't mind seeing the mic, then that's probably when you would bring in that little dead kitten and use that in that scenario. Again, I'm not a huge fan of that in terms of look and feel. This, hold on, it's going to scratch now, is preferable to have it like this for me personally. So yeah, I think that's it. Have a great rest of the week. Thanks for coming by and giving me this feedback. It's important. I'll definitely be using this on some of the stuff that I do, especially when I'm moving around and I'm using a wider lens and I'm going through setups and equipment with people. It will play. It is the Rode HS2, and here it is. And you know what? I kind of feel like there might be worthwhile content here, so I'm taking it all back in terms of letting the episode go away. I'll leave it as it is, and if people get something out of it, fantastic. Just know that the levels that are on the lavalier mic are a little bit low because I didn't go into the camera and actually tweak those. So you just need to know that when you're getting into that. Do I know Peter Gregg? Maybe I do. I don't know if I'm ever going that far, but it can get a little bit addictive when you're doing these things, especially when you're getting a lot of feedback and you're talking to people. Take care, 360 grad, and you're welcome for Cameron Flask. We're looking forward to next week's episode, our 3799 US camera kit challenge, including lighting and audio and everything like that. I don't think I'm going to be able to sneak one of these in there for $299, but we'll see what audio equipment gets fit into there. And I can't remember. I think that part of the challenge is it's got to be stuff that we've never used before. I don't know if that snuck its way in. That's going to be up to Ben Barden to decide, and I will not change what he says in terms of what the parameters are of the challenge. I'm going to go with the flow. Thanks, everybody, and I will see you next week for part 2 of Scott Ressler's interview that I did this morning. I did part 1, so you might want to check that out. Fascinating career as a cinematographer and also as an AC and camera operator. So we're going to do part 2 next Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific, and then also another episode of Cameron Flask that same day at 3 p.m. Pacific. Thanks very much, and it's time to hit finish and end the broadcast.